This Monday morning. I'd like to welcome you all to 40 Plus, to our Monday morning meeting. And I see some former classmates, some current classmates, and we have the chairman of our board here, Gerald Skinner. And we have another board member, Darian, who's here today. And welcome to all of you. How many people are new to 40 Plus today? Oh, that's quite a few. Okay. Well, welcome. If it's your first time, I'm going to just tell you a very brief story about 40 Plus. 40 Plus was founded in 1939 in New York as a response to long-term unemployment created by the Depression. Chapters were founded all over the country. The Washington chapter was founded in 1953. We're an all-volunteer, basically self-help organization. We have three major programs: our Monday morning speakers, which are free and open to the public, and a good way to kick off your week if you're in a transition stage. We have our evening programs. Once a month, we run an evening networking session with a speaker similar to this, but with refreshments at the back. And our main program is our class, which is a intensive job search skills training course for mid-career professionals who are in a situation where they're looking to change what they do, get a new job, or otherwise understand themselves better. It's a very, very intensive program, and we have a few members of the recent class here, I see. And without more ado, I'll ask the people who are new if at the end of the course they will go with Tom Goodman, who's another board member here and is our most famous ambassador. If you will go with Tom into the other room, he'll tell you a little more in depth about our program. And without more ado, I'm going to introduce Ken Shopman, another member of our board, but also one of our most steadfast volunteers who runs our programs, and he will introduce our speaker. Thank you very much.
Eric, I really appreciate that. But before I get to the introductions, another hat that I wear is connecting 40 Plus with partnerships. Partnerships primarily with other related organizations. Eventually, we hope with corporate supporters and other groups. We have anybody here in DC, lives in DC? Great. So you may know that our Congresswoman, Eleanor Holmes Norton, holds an annual event, job fair, exclusively for DC residents. So no offense to our neighbors, but this is exclusively for DC residents. Wednesday, August 2nd at the Convention Center. The flyers are out there on the table. We're also happy to partner with the Green Jobs, the Leaders in Energy, which is hosting an event in August 17, for anyone who's interested in jobs in the sustainable economy, especially around innovation in energy and other sustainable economic technology. This is August 17, also in DC, down at the DC Sustainable Energy Utility on M Street in Southeast. Again, we have flyers on the table. There's a workshop in the late afternoon from 4 to 5:30, and then the job fair from 6 to 8:30. So sustainability, energy, if that's your world, please consider that. And then we're happy to partner with the National Career Fair, which is a corporate organization that takes a traveling set of career fairs around the country. Their next event here in the DC area is in August in Virginia, so we're happy to go across the river. We've been at these events very regularly, and they're helpful opportunities. I'll be honest, they're not essentially geared to professionals. They are more entry-level opportunities, for example, with security companies, with auto sales, with hospitality. But here's something that I've learned and I've observed, and I've seen some of our friends from 40 Plus participate in these. It's a great opportunity to practice. It's a great opportunity to hone that message, that elevator pitch, that summary of what you can do and what you want to do next. So even if the opportunities and the organizations may not be completely on par for you, it's a free event. You connect with 15, 20 employers and actually have jobs. They want to talk to people. So this is August 23rd, again in Arlington at the Doubletree Hotel. The flyers are on the table. But enough of that. We're so lucky to have our speaker here today, SHEILA Murphy. SHEILA is a nationally known, maybe internationally known, expert in career reentry. And I'm sure she'll define that for us and help us understand what that's all about. And also a work flexibility advocate, that may be why some of you are here. In 2009, she founded FlexProfessionals, a flexible staffing company working in Washington and the Boston area. We're working with businesses to find exceptional talent at a fraction of the traditional employee costs. She helps companies reduce costs and increase productivity through people who are working with folks like us. She matches exceptional talent, people seeking part-time or project-based work with local companies who want to capitalize on the value of these largely untapped resources. I think that's an untapped resource. Her prior experiences includes consulting for the federal government, including the Housing and Urban Development Department, as well as USAID. So I could go on and on, but Sheila really knows best. So Sheila, thank you so much for joining us.
So thank you for having me. I'm pretty informal when I speak, and really this is for you. So you can ask me any burning question you have. I'm also pretty honest, so if I can't help you or if I'm not a good person, I will tell you. I'm not going to pretend I have the answer. So just use this as an opportunity to tell me what you need to know. I don't have to stay to the agenda, and we can make this work for all of us. I know we have sort of a big group, but it does help me if you can quickly go around and just introduce yourself to me and to let me know very quickly, because we do have a lot of people who get too boring otherwise, but like, where are you? You know, are you looking to do something totally different? Have you been out of work for a long time, you're looking to get back in and do the same thing? Are you looking to transition from full-time to part-time? If you can just give me a sense and just a quick sense of your background, so I can kind of use my examples to be of help to you, that would be great. You want to start with Katie?
Sure.
So we know who these two people are?
I'm Katie. I have a long career with the Defense Department.
Okay.
Retired after 25 years. I've been back as a reemployed annuitant, so it's a great part-time position.
Yes.
But I can't do it forever, and so I'm starting to think about
Other option, something different. Okay.
My name is Gerald Skinner, and until recently I was the executive director of 40 Plus. I am now the chairman of the board of directors, and I'm very excited that I just recently got a job offer and may start on this next Monday.
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm a chiropractor, but I just relocated this area. I retired, but now I want to get back in the workforce so I can get my each state has their own license.
You just jump back in.
Right. And, I like to try something different.
People see you as a chiropractor, your resume looks like you're a chiropractor, if you have one. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kate. I was, for almost 20 years, I was a political transcriber, which meant I prepared transcripts of all the makers and shakers and bigwigs around the world and in the federal government. I'm just come off a stint working as an editor. That's what I really want to do, be an editor rather than a transcriber. And I've worked for a couple of different entities, including educational institutions in the last year. But I'm searching for that next gig, doing some part-time work as a contractor, notably in social media for a nonprofit group. But I have found that editing is a really wild field and very competitive. So this may be
We have a job on our website right now.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, you should go look it up. It's for a federal government contractor. It's a huge contract related to, I think, 66, to the highway, and needs editing of documents, just editing. And that information is up here.
Hi, I'm Harriet. I've spent 20 plus years in the corporate world, and then I tried to do some entrepreneurial stuff, and I decided that that wasn't quite for me. And when I jumped back into the corporate area, I did a restart company, working with some ex-colleagues of mine. Unfortunately, that company went belly up, and so pushed me back into the workforce. And so now I'm kind of rethinking what I want to do. And I'm actually kind of interested in the business development area because I've been helping some other startups in that, and so I guess I'm sort of in that transition phase right now.
My name is Khan. I am a new immigrant to USA. So last 3 months I moved from Pakistan to over here.
Oh, welcome.
My profession, I am banker. So I quit my job and moved over here. Now I'm looking for a job over here. So
Well, good for you for being here.
thank you.
I'm Jackie. Spent about 16 years in the nonprofit world and really like it. Health field is where I really want to be. Decided it was time to take a break as this job. It was pretty much a dead end, and the new CEO had just changed things to where I just wasn't suiting me anymore. So I figured I'd stay home and spend some time with my teenage boys and keep them going to their events, baseball. So getting ready to maybe go back in, not in a real rush, but getting there. Staying in the same field.
Hi, my name is Anaya Farah, and I spent 32 years with IBM. I say involuntarily retired. I hail from finance, business operations, program management for international sales. So that's like the one sentence.
Yeah.
I'm looking to transition into agile program management, agile enterprise, and my resume does not read that way. It's slowly making its way there. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Do you know what you want to transition to?
I do, because I think it's gonna.
There's opportunity.
Lots of growth potential.
Hi, I'm Joyce Berman, and I have been unemployed for about a month. My background is in development, public relations, marketing, communications. I was just working for a very bipartisan organization. A lot of work I've done has been in nonprofits. I've also been the executive director of a children's museum. So I'm basically looking for something in this Trump era that will really speak to me and get me out of the bipartisan world and into a more partisan world, because I think that's necessary right now. So, but I'm kind of thinking about, doing my own thing versus being a part of an organization. So that's what
Hi, my name is Teresa Milligan, and I guess over about 20 years in the staffing and recruiting industry. I'm not working now, but at this point, I'm still looking for something perhaps in the staffing and recruiting arena, but nothing as intense. I was a branch manager of a staffing office, and so now I'm not looking for anything that's quite as demanding, quite as intense, but still in the arena, perhaps assisting or something in that field. So I'm just leaving my options open right now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen Hines, and I just finished a term as an administrative law judge, and I'm still interested in being a judge, and so I am looking in that area. But as an attorney, I'm also looking at options there as well.
I'm Casey Kelly. I'm witness that Metro is evil, which is why I'm just getting here. I have executive assistant experience, and I'm looking to transition into something more managerial and independent.
Good morning. My name is Vince Brown. I'm a retired marketing and sales management professional. I worked about 20 years or so in the transportation industry for a railroad, then did some marketing consulting afterwards. And I'm currently occupied as a substitute teacher in Montgomery County Public Schools. So I have kind of a break right now. But I'm looking to get back into opportunities that are flexible, where I can serve as like a consultant or a teacher or a motivator to help others. So kind of out there looking for flexible opportunities.
So there is a connection between the teaching and the sales. The people that normally know that. So like part of what you need to do is not assume that people will understand that connection, but to make it for them when you deliver, which you just did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until you said it that I made that connection. And if there's, well, you substitute, that's something different to do. So,
Yeah, I'd like to,
you know, it's important. I was just making that comment because we did a good job doing that. But
Yeah.
you have to do that for people, otherwise they won't make that connection about what you want to do next. So, good.
Thank you.
Liliana.
My name is Liliana Mendez, and my career has been as a graphic designer. I recently, 10 years ago, moved back to my hometown of Washington, D.C. and spent all of my adult career as a business owner of my own design firm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And when I decided to move back, I closed the business and I really didn't want to start another business here, but coming back, I did teach design at the university and did various other things, but I've had a ton of difficulty in transitioning. So I've done some freelance work as a designer, but not really haven't settled into what I want to do. So I'm still struggling with that.
Do you want to work for a company just solely for one company, or?
Yeah, I don't want to have a business anymore. I think I feel like
Been there, done that?
I've been there, done that, exactly. And teaching was mostly as an adjunct, and that's not, that's really running around a lot, and that's very challenging also, although I love the gratification of sharing with the students and sort of the selling of the students' ideas and like that. So I did like that communication aspect of it. However, I didn't like the part-time, just part-time for an adjunct.
And the pay is terrible.
The pay is
Something's
terrible.
wrong with our education system. We pay adjuncts as little as we do. And as parents, we pay so much to send our kids to school. There's such a disconnect there.
Right.
Thank you. Who's next?
Yes, I am. My name is Kelly Snow. I'm 20 plus years as an electrical engineer. I'm currently in the process of transitioning into IT, getting certifications in that area, and going to move that way as soon as I can.
Okay, good for you.
My name's Pam Blumenthal. I most recently worked at doing research, housing policy, research at a research institute. I left that and realized when I went back to work, I wanted to be project-based or part-time, not the full plus time that most of my jobs have been. Like Kate, I had a chance to do some editing work and bring in the policy implications of it. Loved it, and would love kind of project-based work like that. So in that kind of policy space.
Okay.
So I'm Ty, and just recently, again, out of work, I'm in the, I have several kind of things going on. So on the corporate side, I've been in program and project management support, recently working with NOAA, where we creating instrumentations to predict weather several days out from severe weather storms. So I've been in that space. On the other side, I have had flexible work at workforrise.com as a customer service agent back in 2007 for about 3 years, so work from home. I'm also a professional voiceover artist, which I do still do as well. At this time, I really prefer that entrepreneurial hat, and so I'm actually keeping my options open back to corporate and or still doing that. Yeah, and I'm thinking that I'm going to also try to start or put together a manual how to teach people to do what I do as far as the to move in from the administrative assistant part into that next level program project management support.
Hi, my name is Laura Battles. I recently retired from the federal government. I spent most of my career on Capitol Hill as a press secretary and legislative director. Then I moved to the Air Force to be a speechwriter. Also worked legislative affairs for the Air Force. Most recently was in the public affairs office at Customs and Border Protection. But since I left government, I'm looking to do something else, whether it's nonprofit or private sector, probably in government relations or another writing role.
wasn't
You're
sure.
next.
Sorry, I'm not ready. We can move on to something.
Sure.
Hi, good morning. My name is Gar Young, and as noted, I'm one of the board members here at 40 Plus. I love this organization, and I'd really like to transition from the work I do now as a personal project manager to getting my foot in the door of a development position where I can be properly mentored, because I think I have a lot of the chops that are necessary to do development. I love the fundraise. Did it volunteering for my church, and I do it on a volunteering basis too with 40 Plus. The current project management work that I do, I'd love to do that with other clients as well. So I think I might be a good candidate for the company that you have. In fact, I'm registered with you. I heard about you through someone I worked with in one of my projects before.
Okay.
So hopefully I can learn something out of this program. I'm also inspired by your example. I heard about your story on today's show.
Thank you.
My name is Rick Davis. I'm been a research and information professional, and my expertise has been in finding, analyzing, organizing, and presenting information. And I've been out of work since the end of April. I was working as a government contractor, and the division I'm in did not have a budget for FY18, so they laid me off. I've been looking at opportunities either as a records manager or as a librarian in organizations or contracting firms or consulting firms or law firms or businesses. Your program caught my attention because somebody called me about a part-time job, and somebody who's been helping me with my job search had also suggested it as an option. And so I wanted to come in and hear what you had to say.
Excuse me, good morning, I'm Carol. I'm an attorney. For most of my career, I worked in the corporate sector as in-house counsel. And then several years ago, I decided to branch out on my own, have my own law practice, a solo practice. And now I'm just kind of at the point where I'm thinking about, well, what do I want to do in that next chapter? It doesn't have to be legal oriented. And so just kind of starting to think about that, you know. And so that's why I just wanted to kind of come and hear about, you know, what you had to say about, you know, flexible work and things like that. Whatever my next chapter might be.
Right.
Hi, I'm Joanne. My background is I've been an attorney with big firms in New York and Boston years ago, and then I came to DC and started working as a policy consultant on kind of the intersection between tax and environmental policy with NGOs. But then for the last 15 years or so, I've been a stay-at-home mom, and my son is now in high school and going to graduate in a year. I've been doing some volunteer work with various, nonprofits in the interim period, but I haven't worked for pay in quite a long time. And I did try an alternative teaching program because I thought I might want to do that, but then realized I really don't want to become a full-time teacher for a variety of reasons, especially after my field work. And I saw not the kids, it was more the bureaucracy and the other aspects of it. And then, so I'm really interested in transitioning back into the workforce, not as an attorney, although I wouldn't mind using the legal background. I would like to work either in something related to the environment or education or something I see as a worthwhile, area. And I would like to kind of transition in as a part-time or project-based, position at first.
Well, we're the company for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Transitioning, part-time.
Yeah.
We're all about that.
So this is a very interesting talk, and I'll be interested in hearing what you have to say. Thanks.
Okay. All right, we'll quickly get through the rest here, and then I'll start up. Who's next?
My name is Ione Swenson. I am my fellow educators up here. I've been with professional development work, professional learning communities, most recently with online companies, both in Williamsburg and out in Herndon. And there's a huge connection now between private and education with the ever-expanding private online companies.
Yeah.
And education is in flux right now, both with the new law that replaced No Child Left Behind, which we probably all heard of, and also with the new administration and the direction. So my minds, of which there are about 3 or 4 right now, one is to hopefully the states will figure out what they're doing, which will filter down to the districts. I'd love to work at that level again and with teachers in professional development. Meanwhile, I maybe don't want to wait for that to happen and looking at doing some consulting on my own. Thirdly, I like the mentoring. I like helping people navigate and find resources, so that's another aspect. Okay. And on certain days, I just want to retire early and go overseas and be a digital nomad. I could do any of those.
Hi, I'm Meryl, and that all sounds good.
Yeah.
I work as a consultant in fundraising, marketing, public affairs. I love promoting causes. Have done a lot of work with nonprofits promoting causes. Kind of moved early on into the online fundraising area, helping nonprofits with that. Love project-based work and part-time work, and I've done some work with corporations as well. So just wanted to hear what your thoughts are.
So a lot of you talk about what you've done by telling me what you love, which is highly effective, right? People like to hear about when somebody says, I love, it engages the person, the listener. So think about that when you start to talk about what you're doing, or trying to tell somebody or communicate to somebody what it is that you want to do or what you bring to the table. When you tell them what you love, they're automatically going to listen to you more intently, and they're going to get it more. And you're going to convey it with a greater confidence and with a positive energy, which is, who doesn't want to hire somebody who has a positive energy to them? So those are really good tactics.
Hi, I'm Evan Davies. My first career was in banking and financial services for about 20 years. My second career was in the nonprofit sector. I taught entrepreneurship and was a director of development. I left that and was going to start a consulting business working with nonprofits with a social mission to help them build strategic partnerships with for-profits. And as I got involved working with some organizations, I realized I wanted to be something not quite so vague and more hands-on. I've been working with an entrepreneurship program for Opportunity Youth in DC, program with entrepreneurship for returned citizens, and I've gotten into issues of social justice and so forth. And so I'm trying to find something where I can have a more hands-on effect.
My name is Alex Rabea-Shua. I'm a project analyst between projects right now, and I'm looking forward to again that kind of work in finance or federal government space in regulatory compliance.
Okay, compliance, financial analysis.
Hi, I'm Alexis Sullivan, and I'm a personal and professional coach. And I love coaching. I love being a coach. And since that, it's client-based, the income stream is sort of unpredictable. It's up and down. And so what I'm looking for are options for flexible work, part-time, project-based work that can either fill in those gaps or provide a little, some base that's steady. But doesn't take too much time away from my clients and that part of my business.
We do have a lot of it's, people do part-time for different reasons, but I do find there's a trend of a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, consultants, use it oftentimes as either a bread and butter client, kind of that steady, so that they have that, and then they can, do business development to get other types of clients. Or they have a coaching business or something like that, and they might use it to do something else, but that's steady, so that it just allows them to be able to gain, having your own business is a lot of work in terms of getting the clients. Okay.
Yes, I am Gregory Clay, and I've been in the newspaper business for several years. In fact, one of the reasons I was a couple of minutes late getting here was because I had to turn in my story to my editors, my story on O.J. Simpson, and then run out the house and catch the bus to get down here. But I got it off story that is. But I'm also checking out other options, although I have to admit, writing is probably at the heart of the matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know that, though.
Hi, I'm Lauren Robinson. My background is in clinical psychology. I have about 25 years experience with school-based mental health in New York and in Baltimore. So I've worked primarily with kids from preschool to middle school. I've done individual therapy, family therapy, prevention work, teacher consultation, and totally loved it. The program that I worked with ended several years ago, and then after that I learned a lot about geriatric healthcare. And so I'm at a point of coming back to work, trying to figure out what I want to do, and definitely want to do something different. So my thought is that part-time, flexible jobs, contract work would be a good way of figuring out what comes next.
My name is Phil Sedlak, and I've been working for most of my adult life in what I call now change communication, which basically means behavior change, or it means social change. It means changing somebody's behavior in a positive direction. I'm looking for work either part-time or full-time in the DC area. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bullock, and I work in marketing, business development, and also do event planning, or work on teams with events. And the event part has been mostly from a volunteer perspective, but most recently I worked with a couple of clients doing that, and they were like, oh my God, you should do this totally. And so I thought, well, maybe I should really think about that. But I've really enjoyed working in 2 small businesses for a large part of my career. And one of them was more on the hands-on art sector, and the other was working for a video production company that worked with many different types of organizations. And I loved that job in a sense because I was able to learn about all different kinds of clients and what their problems were and how we could address them, et cetera. But I also started thinking about myself in relationship to that and where I might like to work. And so I'm still exploring that. I've been doing consulting for a few years and really enjoying different projects. So I'm thinking that's a great way to learn the landscape and then make some decisions about my path.
Okay, great.
Hi, I'm Tom Goodwin. I have about 45 years in the employment profession. Some of the highlights, I was a headhunter in Silicon Valley in the early 80s, employment manager locally here for about 25 years with companies with contracts with the intelligence community and DoD, hiring software engineers to build systems that spy on others. I also was a partner in a small business. We were a software consulting company. And more recently, I was a project director in DOL, Department of Labor, grants to help seniors get back to work. Currently, I'm retired, but I do career coaching, and I'm an active member of 40 Plus, 15 years with 40 Plus, on the board of directors for 6. So my goal is to help people find the job they deserve. So first timers, if you'll, after the session, if you'll come back, to the other room, and I'd be glad to tell you more about 40 Plus. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, everybody? Oh,
I'm gonna go.
you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, yeah.
All right.
Hi.
And Brenda, too.
Oh, there's some.
Let's go quick, because
Wanna
I
go
know we're
first?
spend our whole
Go.
time.
Go. Oh.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brenda Seiler. I am a communications, marketing, branding professional. I have worked in small to large size national nonprofits and associations, from a think tank up to AARP. My area of expertise: writing, media relations, speech writing, and social communications like blogs, Twitter and Facebook. Love social communications. In fact, I'll be tweeting from here today.
She's a great tweeter. If anybody wants to know how to do it, she's very good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Fatima Arden. I am a strategy consultant / management consultant / change management
consultant. Yes, I've done all of them. And I have a background in public policy. First of all, I come from the public policy world. And also, I have done a lot of work on the international business level. So, most recently, I've been working a lot I've got some clients, I have my own business and have some clients as a facilitator and a trainer, and I'm also a writer. I'm looking to supplement my income as a consultant with my own business with whatever might be available and suitable with my skill set. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maria Jimenez, and I am a finance and accounting professional. I work 15 years, half of them in the private sector, and international NGOs the last 8 years. My passion is entrepreneurship. So last year, I transitioned to work in a local NGO here in Washington, D.C. area, helping immigrants entrepreneurs. I really love it. So right now, I'm looking for a flex-time job because I have in my heart the idea to maybe start a social enterprise to focus, to help, immigrants, communities to really start their businesses. That's what my passion is right now.
Okay, I'm going to move really quickly into this because we've got lots to cover here. But I'll just tell you a little bit about what FlexProfessionals is so you understand where we're coming from. I started FlexProfessionals with 2 other women. And our biggest challenge was that we felt, each of us individually, felt that we had these great skills and skill sets to offer businesses, but there really wasn't an avenue to find meaningful part-time work. There wasn't anything out there. So the part-time jobs, when you think of part-time, you think of part-time jobs, you often think of lower-level work. And even if you go on some of the big job sites, and Indeed, on FlexJobs, even now when you search part-time, you get hospitality, you get drivers, truck drivers, you get things in those industries. And we felt that there was this untapped talent pool. I don't have to explain who they are because they are you. There are people with a lot of experience, degrees, advanced degrees, people who are working full-time, who need flexibility to scale back, often to care for children, and more often to care for aging parents. And that is going to get bigger. And then people transitioning, I heard a lot of that here as well, and a lot of second career. And my guess is that most of you in this room fall into multiple categories here. And so we started FlexProfessionals to get out there and really, the candidates like you come running. That's not our challenge. Our challenge is to sell the model to businesses. And what we sell is that often by hiring part-time, they are able to bring on a higher level of talent. We'll talk about that in a little bit because you need to sell that. That's what you need to sell to businesses. So what do? We do, most of our arrangements are permanent part-time. So most of our jobs are, the company wants to hire you on as a permanent member of their team. They just don't need somebody 40 hours a week. So part-time could be 10 hours a month up to 32 hours a week. So there's a wide range in terms of what part-time means. And it means different things to different people. We also do project-based work. Typically, we're not a temp agency. So the type of project-based work we do is usually, we like to take them 3 months or longer. Less than 3 months is almost not worth our time. A lot of our jobs are a combination of some work at home and on-site. So I would say over 60% of our jobs have a combination. Fewer jobs are 100% virtual, maybe 10%. But a lot of them have the combination factor there. And oftentimes that's because you got to prove yourself on-site first, often to be able to be given the opportunity to work virtually. Some of it's part year or seasonal, which works well for retirees or people who want to have the summer off. We don't want to work so much over Christmas holidays. We do have some of that work. We do source for full-time, but only if there is some degree of flexibility. And so we define that as at least 8 hours a week of virtual work. And so that arrangement, how that looks, is negotiated between the employer and the employee. Oftentimes, the employer has a little bit more say in how that looks, but for some people, it's I want to leave by 3 o'clock every day to pick up my kids off the bus. For other people, it's I want 1 day off a week, and for some people, it's 2 half days, so it can look differently for everybody. And then we do some custom arrangements like job sharing. I would love to do more job sharing, but that has been a challenge for various reasons. I'll quickly go through this. I think you guys know this. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. I don't need to go any further than showing you those pictures to tell you how much things have changed. So I'm going to give you my sense of what the 3 big things are of why the workforce has changed and is continuing to change. And I think it's important for you to be aware of that, especially those who have had a gap in your resume and you're trying to get back in. So the first one is this growing skills gap. The McKinsey Global Institute, it's a part of McKinsey Consulting, do these surveys. And they've estimated that by 2020, which is not that far off, there's going to be a skills gap between 38 and 40 million, which basically means there are going to be 38 to 40 million jobs. But the people out there looking for work there's a mismatch between the types of skills needed for the jobs and the workers out there. So you can look at that as like a down, and the second factor here is that there's so many people leaving the workforce. There's going to be a surge of baby boomers leaving the workforce, and there are going to be those types of jobs that need to be filled. You can look at this as like a negative. Well, I don't have those skills. The skills are technology skills, and I don't have those skills. Or you can look at this as a positive. What's your name? You're an electrical engineer.
Kelly.
You're looking at this. Who's the agile person here? You're looking at this in a strategic way. You're saying, okay, I have a certain types of skills. What do my skills now align myself with learning something new that's going to get me jobs of the future? You know, you've done your research and you figured out that the development, the agile project management are places to go. So if you have the resources or the time to kind of set up a plan and to gain those skills, there's a way that you can do that. And there's a lot of new, they're not even universities, but there are different organizations out there now that are providing these types of higher level, more technical skills to people. The second thing that has changed is what we call this on-demand economy. You hear about it all the time. The gig economy, 1099, contract workers, temp workers. These are all people, freelancers, that fall into what's now called this gig economy. Even people, there's a huge trend by companies to outsource pieces of their business. So people outsource their finance, they outsource their HR. Those are 2 big places where they outsource. When you fill those roles, you are part of that gig economy. And so by 2020, these workers are going to outpace full-time workers. Now, I'm not telling you that this is a good thing. I see a lot of serious problems with this, and I think we're going to hit a block here. I mean, you know, it's great to be a freelancer when you're young, and all of a sudden you have 2, 3, 4 kids, and you don't have insurance. It's a huge problem. I pay for my own insurance, and it's a huge chunk of what I pay every month for my family. So I'm not promoting this. I'm simply telling you that this is definitely a driving force. And businesses are getting creative, and they are using this as a way to not have to provide health insurance if they're under 50 full-time employees. They're using it as, and we see it all the time. A lot of times our clients will say to us, I'll just hire that person as a 1099. So basically, they become our employee as a 1099. We take on the risk of being audited by the IRS because we're not following the rules. So we don't let our clients do that. We say, well, we have to bring them on as a W-2 employee. But this is really, the pace of this is crazy.
the outsourcing is not necessarily in the U.S. So just because they outsource
Totally.
finance and HR does not mean that all the people with these skills here say, oh, well, that's an opportunity for me. No, that's like call India or Romania.
Call centers, I know tons of clients who we place in operations roles, which is another area where part-time is a very good fit. So anything from finance, HR, any level of admin, even sales and marketing are good fits, but the technical stuff, a lot of it is being outsourced overseas. Yeah. And then the third piece of this, that's the trend here is, it used to be, well, the baby boomers, is the people retiring want flexibility, and the millennials want flexibility. Well, study after study after study shows everyone. So they might be driving it, and I always am thankful to the millennials in that I think the millennials, they're asking for it and demanding it in ways we were afraid to ask for it. And they're just assuming that they can have it. And it's changing, and it's actually a benefit to many of us in this room. But so much so, and we use this as sort of our marketing pitch to companies. We just did a survey of candidates. So people who truly want part-time are answering the survey. We asked them, what's most important to you? And it was the work environment, work culture, and flexibility. Flexibility was number one, and work environment and work culture was number two. Hardly anybody said compensation. Now, we all want to need to pay our bills. And doing well and getting compensated fairly for it, I think we all should deserve that. But at the same time, people want flexibility so much, they see it as part of their compensation package. And two comparable jobs, one that pays a little bit less, but it's closer to home and gives you the flexibility you want, a lot of people will take that job, certainly people that we work with.
When you say flexibility, are you talking in terms of hours, or could you mean
flexibility could be hours, schedule, where you work, when you work, and how you work. So it means different things to different people. And that is where, when you get to the point where you're negotiating flexibility, you need to think through what it means to you and prioritize those different things. Is it more important to have a job close to home and you're willing to work more traditional hours? Or can you absolutely not work traditional hours? Like, what is it that's most important to you? So it's important for you to think about that. Okay, and this is another big one. 1 in 2 employees are going to need to provide elder care in the next 5 years. That's huge. That is going to change the way companies look at this, because if they don't give job seekers or employees flexibility, they're going to lose them, because people are going to be forced to leave. And I see that every day. I used to see it more, people needing it, and I think it's because I'm getting older, people needing it to take care of children, and now they're coming in, and it's the aging parent factor. That is huge. So, when it comes to part-time work, now part-time, I would say when you talk about flexibility, what does it mean? I would say part-time is a subset of flexibility. It's a piece of it. So part-time is less than 40 hours a week. So for some people, they want flexibility, but they're totally fine working 40 hours a week. Some of them are totally fine working 50 or 60. So this is more from our company's perspective, where we see the greatest potential for jobs and what types of part-time work, what types of jobs lend themselves well to part-time. So definitely finance, definitely operations, admin, marketing, social media, PR is another big one. Around here, I think it's maybe DC specific, but a lot of the editing, the technical writing, and the proposal writing, mostly for government proposals or for grants. HR recruiting. And these over here are just sort of, the more project-oriented the job is, the more defined it is, the more predictable it is, it lends itself better to part-time. And that whole kind of thinking about what it is that's the result, right? So if your mentality is, I need the butt in the seat, that type of supervisor might not be one that is as open to part-time. The one that says, you know what, I don't really care where you work, I just want X, Y, and Z done. These are our goals, and if you can help me achieve them, I'm cool. That's the kind, that's the different mindset here. So growing industries, Flex Jobs. This is a industry leader in flexible work. They are technology-based, so it's a web-based company. And they're based out in Boulder, Colorado. The woman who owns it, Sarah Sutton-Bell, was a techie. And that website, it's a consumer-based website, meaning that you as the job seeker pay them, and if you go on Groupon, you can often find a deal. And I don't usually advocate that you pay anything for any service, but this actually is a decent website in terms of even if you pay for like 2 or 3 months to get a sense of what's out there. There are no advertisements, and they have a lot of flexible jobs advertised on their website. But they are great at doing a lot of research, and so they came up with this list of companies that are advertising for flexible work. And so when you talk about the mortgage and real estate, it's like the Redfins and the Zillows. It's the newer companies that are doing it differently and using an online system. They need people to support. My sister-in-law works for Redfin, 100% virtual from home, doing project management for them. HR and recruiting, you'd be surprised, particularly with recruiting. A lot of companies, they just want recruiters to bring in good people, and you don't need to be on site. And oftentimes they have chunks of work coming in, and then they have lulls. And so they're looking for somebody to be able to do it on a project-based way or a part-time role where they're willing to scale your hours up and down. Accounting and finance, pharmaceuticals. Again, a lot of this is the research piece of it, account management piece of it, and then education and training as well. So those are sort of industries that are growing and open to flexible work. So here's why employers hire part-time. This is what we have found from working. We work with probably over 300 to 400 businesses in the DC area. We've placed over 600 job seekers in the DC area. So this is really what I offer you, please ask questions, is I every day work with the job seekers, and I see why they get jobs and why they don't, but I also work with the employers, and I see why they hire and why they don't hire. So I think my value to you is I have both sides of it, so please ask me any questions you want. I will send you this PDF, so you don't have to worry about taking notes on pictures. I have it, I can forward it, like literally when I finish, to Ken, and we can get it out to you. So you don't need to worry about taking pictures.
However, you do need to worry about signing in.
So make sure you sign in.
You have to fill out the long form or the short form. Please do that on your way out. Okay, just share your email, and we'll make sure you get this.
Okay, so why do they hire part-time? I think the mentality of a good employer is I'd rather have them for 20 hours a week than not at all. And so what happens is those of you with more specialized skill sets tend to get picked up for part-time because you have something that they want. So higher level business development, sales, people with networks, people with contacts. So those are the kinds of things that you're going to want to express when you are talking to businesses. Specialized, I mean somebody around here that knows certain types of policies, knows about a certain type of compliance, about, have done some type of sophisticated financial analysis. Those are the kind of skills that do lend themselves well to part-time, because if you want it, you say, okay, well, all right, I need this type in this economy where the unemployment rate is going down. I think it does lend itself well to this, because people are saying, I'd rather have you, I'll look for 20 hours than not at all. Lower level admin is a little tougher to sell, especially with older workers. I'll just be perfectly honest. I see age discrimination out there all the time. But when it comes to admin jobs, the perception, whether it's right or wrong, and oftentimes in my work, because I work with re-entry, technology skills are weak. And if your technology skills are weak, it's hard to be hired for an admin job. So I think you just have to be realistic about that. It's important to beef up those technology skills. And I often find with re-entry, who have been out of the workforce more than 5 years, you know your technology skills are weak, but I don't even think you know that they're as weak as they are. There's and I'll give you the example, just because I know I have a couple of re-entries in here. When I interview, I'll say to somebody, so tell me about your technology skills, and I'll start talking to them, and I'll say, well, do you use a calendar tool? Gmail, the Gmail calendar or Outlook, and they'll say, well, yeah, I input my activities into my phone. And I'll say to them, okay, I say, well, have you ever invited somebody to a meeting? Have you ever color-coded your calendar? Have you ever managed multiple calendars? And they start to look at me like, oh. So those are the kinds of things of how it's used in business that is different that we might use it from home.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you have any good sites or other outlets in terms of training on technology that you recommend to your re-entry people?
So, good question. On our website, FlexProfessionalsLLC.com, it's in here, /job seekers, there's a job seekers tab, there's an entire resource section. And in there is a section called skills development. There are links to a lot of free resources. Some of them are as basic as Goodwill. Goodwill does a whole thing on browsers, on the Outlook calendar. You can get a lot of that. And then there's some that are more towards, there's a lot of technology related to marketing, to social media on there. It's a big problem, and I'm in a process right now. I actually have a re-entry intern that's doing research for me. There is a company called Career Reboot Accelerator. And I don't know what their website is, but they're Silicon Valley based. They have investor funding. They have spread all through, nationally, they've got little hubs. There's not one in DC, but they do a technology boot camp. Go look at the one that they have for 8 weeks and look at their schedule, because it'll give you a good idea the kinds of skills that you ought to get, even if you can't get it through them. They're expensive. That's my problem with over promoting them, is that a lot of the people we work with, especially if you're looking for part-time and you're at that phase where you're kind of wanting to spend less, it's hard to spend that money. But what they do is a whole thing on updating your computers, updating your apps, like how do you do all of that? We usually let our computers go last. We update our kids' computers, but not our own, and get the new hard drives or the new gadgets and all that stuff. They do one on Canva, which is more of a tool for PR and graphic design. They do one on PowerPoint and Visio. So that's oriented that way.
Also go to YouTube, especially when it comes
when
it comes to your phone.
It's all out there.
Managing your phone.
All out there.
YouTube
so
is
Excel, if you need to brush up on Excel, YouTube is great. You just have to take the time to do it.
It's all out there.
You have to take the time to do it. And say, okay, that's part of my job search. Today, I'm going to spend an hour, and you got to just get your hands into doing something and figuring out how to do it.
And you might have this on the website, so there's something called MOOC courses, M-O-O-C. Those are free. Coursera's under there, but I live in Bridgeton.
I have Coursera. No, I don't have that one. What's it called?
Coursera.
Oh, I have Coursera. What was the other one?
MOOC, M-O-O-C, that you can take through the universities. Some are free, some are you have to pay. However, I'm a resident of Prince George's County, and I don't know if anybody knows, if you have a library card, you can take lynda.com.
Yep. It's now owned by LinkedIn. There's a lot out there. You just have to take the time to use it.
Can I excuse me, one more resource? I I just learned about this. If you're in Virginia and you're 60 years old, you can take free classes at the Virginia Community College.
Free?
Free.
Wow.
Yes. I just learned this.
So I'm-
resources Montgomery County Public Libraries.
So the public libraries, the community colleges, and the school systems, the county school systems, like Fairfax County has the ACE program. For relatively cheap, you can take some technology classes. So I'm actually looking to try to figure out a way to partner our company so that we can offer those types of courses at a lower cost, but then sell the fact that I have this cohort of people who have way higher levels of other types of talent, have gotten the technology training, and sell that to companies. So that's what I'm looking to do next. Finding flexible work. So let's talk about who you target. I think this is the most important thing. You know you want it. Who do you target for this? Because you're not going to find it listed in the job posting as part-time, generally speaking. And I'll just give you one tidbit of information to really, hopefully hone this in or impress upon you the fact that this is so true. When we sell the part-time model to companies, I would say over half of the companies that go, oh, I could use an X person, they don't even have a job posting on there. We make it for them. So a lot of jobs that are out there, people hire because there's an opportunity, a challenge, or a problem that they need solved. Because of your skills, and because of your gravitas, and we've used that word, you're better off creating a job for yourselves than filling a vacancy. So you have to, but what that's telling us is that you got to go out there and find them. And sitting behind your computer, going through Indeed is not really effective at all. So, for flexible work, the top way you are going to find it is through a current employer, a past employer, or people who know your work. And I would even expand that to people who know you. It's true for job seeking in general, right? But particularly for part-time. If you're going to let somebody go part-time, and the mentality of the company is that it's a privilege. I don't necessarily believe that, or a benefit. I think it's really a strategy for them to hire better people. But because that mentality is out there, you're better off going to people who know you. Don't discount the people who you have worked with, whose job you would never want, because they still might be able to hire you for something else in their company, or know somebody that would hire you. Okay, so a lot of people start to reduce and weed out good contacts because he was just the CFO. I do PR. Why would he be able to help me? Go back to all those people, because you hire people that you trust, especially if you're not going to see them 40 hours a week. Okay, so my company, 100% part-time. I work part-time. My two co-partners work part-time. The 12 people that we have in DC all work part-time, and they all work virtual. And I was thinking about this before I came in here. Of the 4 salespeople that we've hired, Linda is neighbors with my partner Ellen. Nan goes to my church, and Pam's her son is on a soccer team with Gwen. So, and all of my admin people that I have hired have been my interns. Why? Because I know them. It's easier to hire them. I have a sense of what they can do. So even your friends who might not know your work products, they still know the characteristics that you have that would make you a good employee. So start there. Small, high-growth businesses. So our business, we're 7 years in the making. We started with 0 companies. We now have worked with over 300. We started with 0 candidates. We now have over 12,000. We started, the first year we made like revenues of maybe $200,000. We're inching up on 4 million. Okay, so this model works. People hire part-time. You need to know that. But guess who does? These guys. They're the small, high-growth businesses, not your mom and pop shops. They, at least from our perspective, they're not going to hire more than one person. They're leery about spending money using a staffing company. They've never done that. But when I talk small business, I'm talking $5 to $50 million in revenue. This should be your target. Companies that are $5 to $50 million in revenue and have about 200 employees or less, but I would say most of them are going to have 30 employees. Somewhere between 20 and 50 employees is like a really good target for part-time. Why? Because a company like that might need a communications person. They don't have the amount of business to hire you full-time, right? Or, and I'll give you another example. A business with 50 employees growing, the owner of the company is doing way too much of the bookkeeping, the invoicing, right? And he knows or she knows that to get that business to the next level, they've got to focus more on the business development. And they've got to start to hire people to do the HR, to do the finance. So what's their choices? Either this person who owns this company hires for $50,000 an entry-level, fresh out of college, junior level accountant who's going to have to train, which is going to cost money, and mentor, and that person's not going to be able to do the higher level strategic financial analysis and budgeting and forecasting for them. Or with this model, they can hire, and some of you are, a lot of you in this room said this, I've been there, done that. I'm not looking for like the promotion job. I'm looking for the job that makes me happy, right? So you might have been a CFO, and you can lend those skills to this job, but you're also perfectly fine doing the transactional piece of the work. And so for $40 an hour, this company could hire you to do way more than that junior level person and not have to pay you benefits on the same budget. So that's how they're hiring. So in Fairfax County alone, anybody live in Fairfax County? Okay, 95% of businesses in Fairfax County are small businesses with 50 employees or less. So that's telling you something. There's a lot of them out there. We tend to think of companies that we hear on the job boards, that we hear on the radio, that we see in the Washington Business Journal, that we look and see on the names of big buildings. And we think of those companies first to go to on our job searches. Well, guess what? Those companies, they're going to weed people like you out if you say you want part-time or flexibility. If you are looking to transition and they see you as the electrical engineer, not as the developer, they're going to weed you out. The HR people are so inundated with resumes, their job is to weed you out. So go to the smaller companies because you then have direct access to the owners or to the VPs. And those are the people that you need to sell what it is that you're looking for. And they're going to be more open to flexibility.
What is the percentage of people that hire people part-time that still provide health insurance?
Very low. Oh my gosh, I would say less than 5% of our clients offer the insurance, health insurance benefit. What I would say though is that a lot of them will offer the 401k. Like my company's our package 401k, you have to work 20 hours a week. Once you work 20 hours a week, you're eligible after a year. And I think that's pretty standard. So you get the 401k piece, the health insurance you don't. And so that's why I say to people when they come in, everybody's attracted to this model. But my job is when I interview people to really impress upon them, it's not for everybody. If you need health insurance, it's not a great model for you if you're looking to get it through your company. And I don't think, that's the US and our broken system. I don't believe in it. I use it as a sales pitch on the client side. I say a lot of our candidates don't need benefits, and because most of our candidates are just in a situation where they're either getting it from, from the government, from the thing, or the military, or from a spouse. But it's very hard. Part-time is hard if you need the health insurance. But don't dismiss a really great job if you don't have the health insurance. If you feel that it is going to project you, it's kind of that slingshot. If you feel like this job is going to get you to where you want to be, because oftentimes you can negotiate that a year after a year. And so I would say as part of if you're negotiating in the flexibility piece, you ought to say, can we revisit this arrangement in 3 months? Can we talk about it in 3 months? Can we talk about it in 6 months? Because it might change. Okay, so strategies for finding flexible work. Branding yourself as a freelancer. It's hard for some of us to do that when we've only worked for companies and we're going out there. And there's a plus to this and there's a minus to this. But you can brand yourself as a freelancer, especially if you have the type of skill set where you can do project type work well. I think the marketing, the technical writing, the editing, those types of jobs lend themselves well to freelancing. But I would say caution with one thing about this. There are definitely companies that don't like to hire freelancers. So if I'm a small company and I'm hiring part-time because I literally don't have enough work to hire a full-time person, I want you working 100% for me because I have my heart and soul and money in my business. I don't want you thinking that maybe on my time you're doing work for another client. So you have to be careful how you navigate this and get a sense from that person and reassure them that you have the ability to manage your time, to dedicate your time. This is more so when you're trying, like people who are trying to start up a business on their side, like I'm starting up my own technology firm on the side, I'm not going to freelance and work for this company. Sometimes smaller businesses are not as open to that. So you have to be careful with that one. Use job boards dedicated to flexible work. I am not saying that you're going to find your job through those job boards, but you might be able to use them to figure out what types of companies are hiring and do some research to try to find who those companies are. Some of these job boards tell you right away who the company is. Then you can start to go use LinkedIn, use other resources to find connections. So I'm not saying sit back on that computer and click the submit button, but take those job boards and do as much research as you can to figure out who the companies are, and then go try to find people at those companies that you can talk to. At the end of this presentation, when you get it, there are 2 great sites for finding flexible work. And I used to list out all the different types of companies like ours and other types of job boards that hire for flexible work. The industry is growing, it's changing. Every time I did it, I had to pull ones out that no longer exist and ones that merged and other new ones. So the websites I'm giving you is 2 different women who own businesses where they're promoting flexibility. One, they're career coaches that have taken a real interest in this space, and they have compiled, each of them, a list. And if you take the 2 lists, there's a lot of repeats, but I think you almost have all of them out there. So I let them do the work now, and I just link you to them. Directly contact target companies, not jobs. So once you find out the types of companies that are hiring, if you go onto these flexible work sites, you'll get a sense of the types of companies that are hiring. Directly target the company and express to them not that you want flexibility, because they're not going to hire you because you want a part-time job or a flexible schedule. They're going to hire you because of your skills, and they're going to hire you because you have expressed an interest in that. It's a very selfish kind of thing. So they're looking at it about what's in it for me. What do you bring to the table? So target companies and then find ways to tell that company why you want to work for them and what it is that you love about that company and what skills do you have, what do you bring to the table to add value to that company.
When you say directly contact, what do you suggest as the mode? Are you going to get into that?
Nope. So I think LinkedIn is great, but LinkedIn, some people who have specialized skill sets can find a job by just putting their profile out there, because a lot of recruiters do passive recruiting through LinkedIn. Doesn't work so well if you're in transition, and it doesn't work so well if you have a gap in your resume. But being on there will help you find connections to people who work at companies that you want to work at. And then you can link in with them. You can find if you have connections with those people through other connections you have. If somebody you know really well has a connection, I would send them through LinkedIn, through a phone call. Hey, I really want to talk to somebody at XYZ company. I see that you are connected to so-and-so. How well do you know her? Use it that way. Again, the small businesses, if you are targeting small businesses, it is the hiring manager in any business that is going to be motivated to hire somebody like you, an older worker with a high skill set, okay? The HR managers, this is my personal opinion, and I don't mean to bash HR managers. HR is a really important function, and people who do it and do it well are incredible assets to organizations. But because so many resumes come in, oftentimes their job is to not say this person would be good, we ought to talk to her. It's to get rid of a lot of resumes and make it easier for the hiring manager to make a decision, right? So go directly to the hiring manager, the person who has the budget, the person who's the project manager, who goes, wow, this person could be a really good value to me because he could mentor my sales team. He could also do some sales, do consulting, what have you. So at a small business, 50 employees or less, it's going to be the owner. Maybe the second level down. If you go to their website and do research, you can figure out who those people are. If their emails are not on the website, there's some email there that's going to give you the, what do you call it, the format. The format, right? So at my website, you're going to figure out it's everybody's first name at FlexProfessionalsLLC.com. At other people's, it's the first 2 letters of the first name and the second 2 letters of the last name. Send an email. So how do you contact them? Mix it up. Link with them on LinkedIn. Say something nice about their company. Send them an email. Notes, handwritten notes. Nobody does it anymore. You'll stand out if you do. So vary your technique. Pick up the phone and call. Pick up the phone and see.
How can you do handwritten notes online? Or just send them through the mail is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you talk about, I think a lot of people think about networking, they think about attending job fairs. Personally, I think it's probably the worst way. Great for practice, though. Great for practice. But find out that a company that you want to work for, where are they speaking? Where do they go to network? And go there. And all you have to do is don't work the room and tell everybody about the value you bring. Be highly selective. And if you can walk out of that room having had one conversation with one person, it might not give you instant gratification, but you've probably done a really good job of added more value and more benefit to your job search than going around the whole room. Sell to your strengths for finding flexible work. So these are the reasons why people hire you. Now, all of these might not apply to you. If you don't need benefits, if you need benefits, then don't sell that you don't. But a lot of people, you can sell that you are really experienced. You can hit the ground running. You're open to fluctuating hours. A lot of small businesses are reluctant to hire a higher level person if they don't know if they can give you enough hours every week. So if you are in a position to say, listen, I'm okay with starting at 10 hours, and let's see how it works. I'm open to increasing my hours. Or the opposite is, oftentimes companies have an immediate problem, but once you fix that problem, they might not need you. So they might need you for 40 hours or 30 hours until you fix the problem. And then after that, they just need you for maintenance, and it might scale down to 10 hours. If you're open to that, let them know that you're open to that. That could be highly attractive to a company. Small businesses, startups, these more tech-savvy companies, they are often can't afford to have office space. So for flexible work, you should be targeting companies that are at the WeWorks. Have you heard of WeWorks?
Yeah.
Uber Office, Regis, car workplaces. All of those, they're called co-location workspaces. Those types of companies there are growing, but they're also kind of working on a shoestring. They would find the talent that you bring, especially if you're willing to work at a competitive rate, they're going to find you attractive. So, but they're not out there looking for part-time people, and they're not out there looking at traditional, the monsters in the Indeed. So you've got to go find them. So go to a car workplace, see who their people are. Get the addresses so you can figure out what companies, if they have that location. They often don't say they're at car workplaces. They just have the office address, the street address. So this is why people hire in flexible roles, why companies do. So this is another type of reason to look at this and to know why they're hiring and to build it in your own pitch, being able to sell yourself to meet what they're looking for. So we talked about the first one. The second one is retention. A lot of forward-thinking companies know that if they give you the flexibility, you're going to stay longer, and it costs so much to train people that smart companies will hire it flexible, will give the flexibility just to keep a good workforce. If they're growing, it's a great way to grow a business to hire part-time. That's why these small businesses do it. So business growth. Customer service. Oftentimes, a customer service role can be a very good part-time role, especially if you need people to do it at different hours, people to do it at night or to do it in the early morning. So doing it part-time, you can piece together people who are doing customer service 24/7. Growing their brand organically. So part-time flexible work, remote work, if you want to get national, you might want to hire people in a flexible role because you can have people in New Mexico, you can have people here. They find that people who work part-time are highly productive. We hear our clients say all the time, I can squeeze out full-time productivity out of your part-time employee that you placed with us. They're that good because you're not hanging out by the water cooler. You often have so many other things going on in your life that you're very efficient in your emails. You know where to cut corners. And I think people re-entering after having cared for children or cared for aging parents, they know how to do that type of multitasking. That's really attractive. And it's lower overhead costs for virtual work. If you're working flexible and part of it is that virtual, listen, I don't need an office. Happy to do this for you, but I'm happy to come in for meetings, but I have my office set up and you don't need to, have a space for me. Here are their concerns about hiring part-time. Important to know too. Are you going to have the access to the information you need to get your job done? This is where the tech savviness comes in. There are new systems out there for file management. So like Dropbox would be an example of one, but there's other ones as well. Managing data and knowledge, files, communications, so the Skypes,